What up is Marcus with Dynasty Dads, and we're going to be going through a post NFL Combine mock draft. Basically, if you have, this is going to be one QB. I'm going to go through the next couple videos that we're going to be doing here. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. So today we're going to be doing the first 6 picks of a 1 QB Dynasty rookie mock draft, basically. In the next video, tomorrow, we're going to be doing 7 through 12. And then the following day, we're going to be doing a 1 through 12 super flex video. And then we'll just be talking about some other rookies to look out for. Then we'll probably get into some of the sleepers as well. If you want some of my rankings, we're going to be they're going to be more put onto the Patreon channel. So all you have to do is be Patreon supported to that. We're going to get right into it, 101, and I will talk to you about tiers of these 6, where I would have them, if there's specific tiebreakers, why I have somebody over somebody else. 101 is Breece Hall, and he's been my 101 since it started, even pre-NFL Combine, but now post-NFL Combine, and he has done nothing to say that he shouldn't be at 101. He has somebody that's been a 43.9% college dominator at Iowa State, 5'11", 217 pounds. Really, the only thing that you can knock on him is his elite speed, which was the same kind of argument you had for Najee Harris. Look what Najee Harris went and did with Pittsburgh in that situation. The nice thing about Breece Hall is he's only 20.7 years old. So you're talking about into the NFL season, he's 21, not 23 like Najee Harris. You have an extra 2 years with Breece Hall. So let's go through what he did at the NFL Combine. 96th percentile at 4.3940. So under that 4.4 mark. What does that mean? It just means he's fast. It means he does have some good speed. Not top, maybe not Jonathan Taylor speed, but the kid can move. And so when I said that was his biggest knock and he's a 4.3940, it's like, well, where is his holes in his games? 116.9 speed score, another 98th percentile, and only 94th percentile in his burst score, 131.0. You're looking at a guy who primarily likes to live into that 90+ percentile with pretty much anything and everything that he likes to do. Breece Hall is 101. If you had a tiebreaker, even between a running back and a wide receiver, whether it's Breece Hall and let's say Treylon Burks or Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, I feel like this is just kind of cemented. My specific opinion on Breece Hall is he is my 101, just like Najee last year, and it's going to be really, really hard to find a situation where he's not my 101. And unless the situation is absolutely horrible, or he somehow gets hurt, or something that happens along those lines, or the Garrett Wilson goes into an absolutely perfect situation, Treylon Burks goes in an absolutely perfect situation, which we don't know what those are yet quite, but we'll see what happens with all the different movement with free agents, especially like Chris Godwin and Allen Robinson. Like, these are important decisions as well that will change some of the landscapes of what's going to go on with some of these wide receivers. So number 102, and this is getting tougher because I feel like this is the tier. It's 2 through 4, and it depends on what position you would rather have. Right now, I have Treylon Burks. It could change, but Treylon Burks, 6'2", 225. If you look at his 40-yard dash, 4.55, which is not ideal for somebody that even if he's 225 pounds, I don't care. There are DNs that run at 4.55 now these days in the NFL. Yes, it's maybe a little bit more rare, but 225, I was hoping for like a 4.440 or 4.4540. 4.55 is not the end of the world. Again, 40-yard dash is not the end of the world, so maybe... oh, sorry, that was annoying. We do not want that on the computer. and so maybe that is maybe a slight tish overreaction, but I didn't move him out of this 102 spot. I just feel like this makes Breece Hall more concrete at 101, and now we start getting into this kind of more of the second tier, which is Treylon Burks, and he still has the super high upside. He could be, again, finishing to that A.J. Brown type role, which is where I see a lot of his game mirroring is A.J. Brown. And so if you redrafted that 2019 draft, you see some of these running backs like Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders and David Montgomery. And then you're going to see, I feel like 2019 and this draft are mirroring a lot. So would you rather have Josh Jacobs or A.J. Brown? Clearly A.J. Brown, but I feel like Breece Hall's better than Josh Jacobs. That's just my opinion. But after that first year, you were like, man, Josh Jacobs did really, really well. He could be more valued than A.J. Brown. I feel like they kind of have that same relationship where Treylon Burks has that upside where he could be that A.J. Brown type where I know A.J. Brown hasn't been a top 5 wide receiver in a year, but Treylon Burks could be that top 5 wide receiver in a year in a good situation. We'll find out where that goes. He's 21.9 years old. struggled a little bit on the combine. Speed score compared to his weight wasn't super bad, but 4.55 40 was a little lower than we thought. He's still 102. Now, do you want a running back or do you want a wide receiver? I'm going to stick with 103 being the guy that I had 103 pre-NFL Draft Combine. It is Mr. Kenneth Walker. And so he's 5'9", 211 pounds. Diving more and more into his tape, I just feel like I keep falling more and more in love with his 1 year at Michigan State. He had a 50.2% college diamond error, which I don't even know if I can even comprehend a running back having more than half of the total offense, especially even unless they're Georgia Tech, which Georgia Tech just runs the veer, runs that option constantly. But anyways, that's 99th percentile, which is a super rare percentile. And then we look at 4.3840. You thought Breece Hall was good at 4.39? Kenny Walker does you just a 0.01 better at 98th percentile, 96th percentile in speed score, 51st in burst score. Honestly, when you look at Kenny Walker, I feel like he's becoming more and more of a safer prospect. We're going to talk about Isaiah Spiller and why I feel like he's in the next tier, but Kenny Walker has now kind of cemented himself with these two wide receivers that we're going to talk about, one being Treylon Burks and the next one being Garrett Wilson. And so Garrett Wilson did nothing short of just impress, because we already kind of knew that he was going to be a good route runner and a good separator, but to have that Terry McLaurin speed too, where now Garrett Wilson in at 4.3840, 94th percentile, he's 6 feet tall, 183 pounds, he's starting to fall into every single one of these analytical and video type things. He's starting to be a prospect I like more and more and more in that safety floor. If you want safety, if you are a team that consistently drafts busted players, Garrett Wilson, he will be a safer player. If you are worried about things, then Treylon Burks is not your guy, because there's a lot more bust potential in Treylon Burks than there is with Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is your safety. He is going to be somebody that will produce at the NFL level. It just depends on how much he will produce at NFL level. Maybe he's a high-end wide receiver too. Maybe he's in that DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin side. That is still a super valuable side of fantasy football. A high-end wide receiver too. If you get a wide receiver 8 to 15 for the next 5-6 years, that's a super valuable position to have. And Garrett Wilson, I feel, is a perfect situation of that. And he did nothing but impress, really, when it comes into that speed of the NFL Combine. And to go with his tape, to go with what he showed at Ohio State, I love. Now, there is just a little bit of dip, and these two guys didn't perform due to various reasons with certain aspects of the Combine, especially Isaiah Spiller. Isaiah Spiller, we don't really have any additional statistics to go with. Just right now, it's 6 feet tall, 217 pounds. Does he get a knock for not going? We'll see what his pro day says. Pro days, it was give you a little bit of an extra tick, but Isaiah Spiller is actually somebody that I was worried about the most of the three running backs, and now he's just kind of stuck at, okay, yeah, he's my wide receiver 3. Or sorry, running back 3. I don't know why I said wide receiver 3. I'm trying to think of an example. It was basically when the 5 running backs of 2020 came out. Cam Akers was my RB5 of the 5. And he just kind of stayed there. He stayed there because he was behind Swift, he was behind Dobbins, he was behind CEH, he was behind Jonathan Taylor. And I just really couldn't put him above any of those players. Whether that's right or wrong, or whatever you guys disagree or agree with that doesn't matter. But, that's just what I felt in 2020. In 2022, I feel like Isaiah Spiller is going to be that RB3. There's a big drop-off to RB4 when you get into the James Cook and Kyron Williams and to that tier. I feel like there's a pretty significant drop-off. But Isaiah Spiller is a really good prospect, and that's where I have him here. I have him here at 5. But you could argue him or the wide receiver that I'm going to have at 6 are really interchangeable. So if you look at a tier, I think Breece Hall should be the 101 in most leagues, unless you're desperate for wide receiver. 2 through 4 should be, in my opinion, Burks, Wilson, and Kenny Walker. Doesn't matter what order, but kind of in that tier. And then these two guys, and then you have another big drop-off. And so if you have pick 7 or later, you either need to do one of two things right now. You either need to get into the top 6, or you need to hope that somebody drafts not one of these top 6 players, reaches for Jameson Williams, which I don't think you're going to see that in a lot of leagues, reaches for another running back like Kyron Williams, don't think that's going to happen, or reach for a wide receiver that's not on this list, maybe like a Chris Olave or something along those lines. Again, I really think these top 6 are, I don't know if they're unanimous per se. I haven't watched a ton of other YouTubers' videos. I've been looking at some of the other rankings that people have been putting out, and I feel like they're similar, but I could be totally wrong. I honestly, I try to be as, not narrow focused, I try to be as genuine without extra input from everybody else. I want to say, okay, what do I believe? What do I feel? What do I see? What do I watch on video? And what are my analytics saying versus trying to be, because you can really have people turn the narratives on different players and really make you change what you think on players. So the last one, I'm just going to go through him, is Drake London, 6'4", 219 pounds. Poor vertical jump at 31.9, not great. Really slow shuttle at 4.5, 20-yard shuttle. Is he still recovering from the ankle stuff? What, we don't fully know, but I mean, he didn't run the 40 time. Rumors are he's going to run the 40 time as pro day. We'll see what all that entails. Drake London, I feel like, is the best USC receiver in the last 5 years, and we're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, Michael Pittman, and these players I feel like are worse than Drake London at a collegiate level, but that's got to translate into the NFL, and he's got to find a good team. He's got to find, but I think if he has really good upside, Drake London does. He's 6'4", 219. I said his upside is Mike Evans. That is his upside. That is not his downside. His downside, he's another 6'4", 219-pound receiver that does struggle to separate at times and does struggle against the press sometimes, which is classic for 6'4", 219-pound wide receivers at times. There you go. All right. And his breakout age was 18.1 years old, which is ridiculous. And if you like those breakout ages, then you love him. And he could be another Bryan Edwards. I mean, you're literally Mike Evans, Bryan Edwards. This could be Drake London. It's like, where on that scale are you going to get of Drake London, and what situation are you going to get? So those are my top 6. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We have DeAndre Swift signed free jersey. We're giving away that at 2K. All right, peace out. Take care.